Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. What if your client is saying that I do have one S3 bucket, inside that I have multiple folders, and every single folder meant to go into a separate Snowflake tables. Just like you can see on my screen, on the left hand side, I have four folder, customer, nation, region, and order. And those customer needs to dump into the customer table, nation into the nation table, and region and orders. Now, one more challenge is, what if tomorrow the client is going to add you one more folder, let's say supplier, that should also create a table automatically and load the data of those files into that supplier table. So we wanted to build a dynamic and the scalable solution so that all the folders, whatever client is adding, it should automatically create the table into the Snowflake and the relevant data should be copied into the respective tables. Well, this is not just a theoretical challenge. This was actually asked in interviews at Siemens and like Mercedes to one of my mentees. So he actually shared these questions with me that, hey, Vishal, I've been asked this question. So I thought like it's a very interesting scenario. So let's just create one end-to-end video on that so that you will be able to understand and you will be able to create it at your work also. So again, let me just repeat the problem statement one more time. You are given an S3 bucket which contains folders like customer. Let me take my folder only. The customer we do have, and then we do have nation, we have reason or orders. Every day we are receiving the new files in these folders, and my task is to design a dynamic Snowflake pipeline which is going to automatically scan all folders in the S3 bucket from this multiple folders, dynamically create a new Snowflake table for each folder if not exist, and if it is there, then we need to copy the data using a copy into command. Now ensure that already ingested files are not processed again, and the pipeline should automatically support a new folder addition in the future without requiring any code change. So what I need to do, let's go with the step by step. The step one, I will be maintaining a connection. Maintaining connection with S3 and Snowflake. This I'm sure you all know because we have covered in multiple videos. And then I will be creating one audit table. Why this audit table? So that we will be checking whether this file has been processed or not. Now then I will be writing one procedure, and in that procedure I will be checking like so. First, whatever the stage I'm gonna create, on that top of the stage I am gonna create a directory table. I'll create a directory table and I'll tell you why we're going to create it. So we're going to take a path from here, and from this path, we will be taking the folder name so that we can create a table, and those files, those needs to be copied into the, like using a copy into command. But what if the table is not there? So just after this having, we're going to use a infer schema command. If infer schema to create table. But how we gonna check it whether this table is not there? That is also one challenge. For that, I will be check if table is exist or not. For that, you need to run a command like select count, and we can simply check it from from information schema dot tables, where table name, and that table name you're gonna give it to the folder name here. So if it is 0, that means we need to create a table using infer schema. If it is 1, then it needs to go to the copy into command. So let's just go to my Snowflake and let's create this. Okay, So what I'm going to do is the very first thing, I am going to create one bucket called real-time project. And in this real-time project, I have created these four folder customer, and I'm going to upload the files in here. So I'm going to write it. This is my customer file. Okay, that may take a couple of seconds because some files are like 50, 60 MB. And then I'll go back to upload, like I'll do the same thing for the others also, like the nations. I'm gonna upload it, and I'll be sharing these file with you also so that you guys can practice it. Otherwise, you can simply use a Snowflake sample data to order the to and click on upload here, add files. This is going to be a 60 MB. So I'm gonna take 2-3 minutes to load it. All right. And then the last one we have the reasons. Now I'm gonna add four folders. One, and then in the next time I will be adding one more folder for the supplier also, so that we will be checking that our pipeline is perfectly fine to handle even if we are going to have new records and sorry, new files and new folders. Now the very first time, I'm just going to create a very schema, like the new schema called bronze. If I look into the show tables, I'm just only getting one employee table, which is coming from public schema. So I don't have any table at this moment in my bronze schema. Okay. So now the next thing, I would be requiring some objects like storage integration, the stage, file format. All right. I'm sure you all are very confident. You know it that, okay, to ingest the data into the Snowflake from S3, ADLS, or GCS, we require file format, stage, and storage integration. I'm going to create this file format and cloning it from my raw layer CSV type. So I do have the file format now. I do have the integration because this integration we can refer from the same database, but like into a different schema. So we can take it, maybe let's say AWS int or a dynamic int, we can take it, right? So I'm going to use this dynamic int, this data, this storage integration. I have already created, but you guys can do it. All right. Now, if you will look at it, describe storage integration. This is pointing to this real-time project, the same bucket which we have created. But I am going only till the bucket, not the folder level. Why? Otherwise, we have to create a different integrations. Now, once my storage integration is created, I will be creating a stage with a directory enabled. This time, you might have seen it that I have created a stage multiple times using the file format, storage, and the URL. But this time, I'm adding this property also, directory enabled and auto refresh. Now, when I create this stage here, okay, so once this stage got created, now if you will look at it, the list command, the dynamic load. So if you will look at it, here we are getting the name, but inside that name, the problem is I'm also getting this real-time project means my bucket name. So for me, it will be a bit not complicated. Basically, what if you have a very complex name or the other different bucket name, then I have to use some other regex pattern to find out my folder name and the file name. But because I have enabled the directory, so I have a column called relative path in my, and let me just first run the select star. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it like as a directory table to this dynamic load. Now, when I'm going to run it, it is going to show me, all right, okay, just one moment because I have to refresh it. So I guess alter stage dynamic load refresh. And so that all these file is going to be registered. Now, when I'm going to run this command, select start from directory, you see here, Just forget about this. We may be like discussing some other time about this directory table, but focus on this. So this is my relative path. In this relative path, the first one is the folder which needs to be created as a table into the Snowflake. The second is the file that needs to be ingested into the table. Here, the name is similar, but this can be like some other. So just for your understanding purpose, I have taken the same name. Otherwise, it could have been XYZ, it could have been US customer, China customer, or my total nation. Any file can be there. But what I want, these folder name should be used to create table into my branch layer schema. Okay, and these files needs to be used to insert the data. Now this one is clear that if it had just been a one folder, I could have simply go for the infer schema and then run into the copy into command. But here it can be 4, 5, 6. We are not clear with that, right? It can be multiple folder, it can be 10 folder, it can be 20 folder. And I want a same pipeline to be iterate. And to iterate that, I would be using a cursor here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write a procedure, but before that, if you remember, I say that we're gonna create an audit table to check if files are processed or not. So every time after this, after or in let's say the client is saying that once you are going to create the file, sorry, to copy the file into the table, that needs to be entry into the audit table so that we can check which all file have been successfully copied. Okay, so for this, I am gonna create this table, file load log, or you can say audit file, anything you can say it. But in this one, I took only the file name, which I will be processing through the procedure, and the load time I have taken a default, which is going to be like at the time we are ingesting the current timestamp. Okay, now in the procedure, you might have seen it like the my past three videos where I have taken the where I have created a procedure, but this time we're going to use cursors and the loop in it. Okay, so let's look one by one. The very first thing, it's going to be a simple syntax. What I'm going to create a procedure. What would be the name of it? You gave it. Return the strings. Language, I want you to write in SQL, but if you're comfortable using in JavaScript and Python, you can use that. And then as now, because I need to derive from this folder path, this dynamic path. Here. Yes, I need to derive the folder name and the file name from this relative path. So I will be using some variables. And to use the variable, I'm going to declare one. One is the folder name, second is the file name, third will be full path, second will be the count. So like that, I am going to use a file path, folder name, table name, although this folder name, so that like you can take the table name, although it is not required, you can even use the same folder name to create into the table name. Okay, like this is how you can do it, but this is totally up to you how you want. Okay, so I'm going to take these variables. The first one is the file path, second folder name, table name, file name. But the record count, why I'm taking is to check that whether we do have this file or not. We are going to use this count to we're going to assign the values here. I mean, I'll come to that basically. Otherwise, it will be a bit overwhelming. So let's go step by step. After that, I'm opening this cursor. Okay, so this cursor is going to take all the path from this directory, means whatever this we have executed, the same command I have used it. Why? Because cursor is going to get all path and iterate through folders. Okay, so we just wanted to iterate it throughout the folder. That can be 10, 20, 31, 5, 6, n number of folders are there. Now, I wanted to loop through each file record returned by the directory table function. So for that, I will be using a for loop in this, and here I will be using this cursor because whatever the file into this file cursor, then it should be assigned the file path of, like, the file path will be nothing but this relative path. So here, if I have to give you, once it is going to run for customer and customer, then your first time, your file path would be nothing but a customer.customer CSV. So let's understand that the very first time my file path become this customer_customer.csv. Now from there, we need to extract the folder name. So the folder name, I'm writing split part file path. So let's understand. I'm going to use the same function in a separate way. So here, if I write select str talk, and then you're going to write using this comma 1. So this will give me return, this will return customer, and this is going to be my folder name. Here I use this strtalk, or either you go for the split part function. So if you will come and again write this split part, this also going to give you return the customer folder. So this is my folder name, and that's what I have written over here. Similarly, I'm going to do it for the file name. Now I'm taking the second, that means this customer.csv will be my file name. And this is for this file path. Similarly, it will be iterating for the orders, nations, region, and n number of folder, whatever there would be. So my file path is there, my folder name is there, my file name is there. Now I will be creating a full path here. But before that, I wanted to check if the file has been processed or not. And how will I check if the file has been processed? I can simply look into the file load. So can I simply check it? Select count star from file load log. Right now it is 0. Okay, but to check it, if there is any count, so I can simply record. If right now I'm passing select count 1 into this, where file name equal to file path. This is the same entire file path I am going to copy. Entire file path I'm going to copy into my file load log table. That's why I'm looking up on the basis of that. And if this is going to return 1, then this step will be skipped and it will go to the next step. But if this is not, if this is 0, means my file is not there, then what it is gonna do, like it will be taking the if the file is processed, then next it is going to check for the folder. So if the table is there or not, if the tables are there or not. If the tables are not there, however, there is one point, actually one small, like you can even check this part on top of it. Okay, so if I'm gonna check it, if the table name is there or not. If yes, then we can simply check it. And how I'm checking it? The same, I told you the command that we're going to write a count star from information schema, table schema, where table schema is going to be current schema, because this is my branch. I do not want it to hard code it. So that's why I give in a current schema parameter, and table name equal to table name. And this table name is nothing but my upper folder name. Okay, and my full stage path is nothing but the stage name as well as the file path. So if again I have to mention, if I just have to copy this entire data, so I need to write copy into table from, but this is going to be the stage, then like that. So this should be my complete file path. So this is going to be a full file path. This is the table. The table is coming from the folder name. So I have derived here the table name and the full stage path. Then if it is if table is not there, if table is not there, I ask them to create this file. So to create this table, and for that we are using, look at it. We are checking the schema, sorry, the infer schema we are using, and here I'm passing as a parameter because there can be multiple tables, and here in this execute immediate I am passing through here this table name and full stage path. So it will be iterating through here. All the table name means whatever the table name we got it over here, it is going to iterate from here, and then the full stage path. So it will be converting into select array or egg from table info schema. Location will be dynamic stage slash customer.customer.csv, and the table identifier would be like customer. And once it is end, and if the data is already, if the table is created, then we need to copy the data, and we have to write copy into table from stage match by column name. Why I'm using a match by column name? Because for the infer schema we have to use a file format which should have a parse header equal to true. So that's why I have written this match by column name. So you can mention, you can understand, if the record count is 0, then it is going to be this. Otherwise, it is going to return it. Otherwise, it is going to run this copy into command. And once this copy into command is done, then it is going to insert into the file load log, and the value is will be the file path. So let me just run this procedure. I'm sure you guys have understood what I have done is in one by one step we have done it. So let me now run this procedure called call dynamic table load. Now, if this is going to be successfully executed, then it is going to return something dynamic ingestion from S3 to Snowflake complete, but we will be doing our validation also. So let's just wait for it. It may take 1-2 minutes. So we just need to check the entry in these two tables then. I mean, you can just skip that part. You can fast forward it. It's gonna take a couple of the seconds because we have some like 60 MB data, some 20 MB data, and we are using extra small. Hmm. Okay, now this is complete. So let me run the show tables command. How many folders I do have? 4. So the 4 table should be there. Here it is showing 6 because just ignore this one. It is coming from public. But look at this. Customer is added. Nation is added. Orders is added. Regions is added. In region we have 5 record. In nation we have 25 record. In file load log, this is the audit table we have created. And look at it. What entry we are getting here. So this is the files which have been processed, and this is the load time. Now, which after this, let me just run one more time whether we do have any data or not. So in the nation, I know it because the file which I have given is the 25 columns. Sorry, 25 records, and which is completely fine. So you can validate the data based on your source and all, and you can see all the columns also, like it automatically created the tables. Now, in the same procedure, what if I'm going to add one more folder? So I'm going to add one more folder called supplier, and let me see whether it's going to work or not. So in that supplier, I'm going to run it and upload one, add files. This is supplier. And one more thing, I just wanted to show you here the show tables here. If you will look at it, into the customer, we have 126K record. Okay, why I'm showing you? Because I'm adding one more customer file, because we are not just checking, we are not just testing. What if we are going to add one more file into the customer folder? So for that, I am going to add one more file which is going to be customer US. And I upload this. Now, if I'm going to run this command, like this entire procedure one more time, it will not do anything. It will be run in the seconds. So if you will run the show tables command, it's nothing. That means, am I missing anything, or are we missing anything, that why it could not copy that? So let me just show you how you can validate it. So first, just check the relative path. If you will look at the relative path from the directory table, it is still showing these four. So this you have to refresh it. I'm just refreshing this dynamic load path, and if now you will look at it, wait a minute, okay, what happened exactly? This one, it select relative path. You see here, this path have been added. See, actually, I did that, but what you can do is, or like I have already, sorry, I have already did that. Basically, you just need to write describe stage dynamic load. If you guys remember, we did the same thing for the snow pipe. Here we do have this directory notification channel. You need to copy that. You will be coming over here, and in this bucket time, you will come under the properties, and you will be creating one event notification. I have already created, so that's why it is basically like it took a couple of seconds to reflect it. Otherwise, you can manually refresh this. But because we are making a complete automated pipeline, so make sure you are describing the stage and you are writing auto refresh equal to true, then added a event notification in your bucket. And now let me run this one more time, this procedure. So this should have one more folder, one more table called supplier. In the customer, we should have some more record, more than 126k, and in the file load log, we should have 5 entries. Let's see that. The show tables, do I have supplier? Yes, I do have, which is perfectly fine. In the customer, it is 132. Earlier it was 126. If you want to check it, then we can just simply check it through this. Show tables, it was 126. But now when I run it, it is 132. That means this also been tested. But now the final audit table should have 2 entry for the customer. Oh, wait a minute. What I did? No, sorry. No. I need to run this select start from file load log. You can see here this customer and customer US and the supplier. So this your pipeline is going to automatically handle whenever your client is going to upload any new file or add a new folder. It will automatically create a table in that. And one more point, if suppose client says, what if I want this pipeline to handle the schema evaluation also, then check my previous video how I handle the schema evaluation, and you can update your procedure accordingly. If you have liked this video, then please give a thumbs up and share with your friend, and share other scenarios with me so that I can create video for you. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.